We return to the Superior Adventures of Doc Ock and Superior Spider-Man number 2 by Dan Slott and Ryan Stegman. The story picks up with practically everyone fawning over Spider-Man, or rather Doc Ock's later exploits. The media, the police, even Mayor Jonah Jameson makes an appearance to congratulate the web crawler. However, the only opinion that Doc Ock seems to have any mind for is that of the beautiful Mary Jane Watson. Scheming to eventually get into Mary Jane's pants, Doc Ock takes Mary Jane out on a series of dates to the abject horror of the ever-present ghost Peter, even though he frees up more time to spend with Mary Jane by creating improved spider bots that monitor his patrol for him. Doc Ock finds himself getting nowhere. That is until he saves Mary Jane from the Vulture's goons. Yet just as it seems that Mary Jane is ready to take their relationship to the next level, Doc Ock makes the sudden yet logical conclusion that a relationship with Mary Jane will only compromise her safety. So to protect her, and perhaps himself as well, Doc Ock Spidey moves on. A shocked Mary Jane later shares her woes with Carly, commenting on how much Peter has changed. This further galvanizes Carly to investigate her last encounter with Doc Ock. Do you think Carly will actually figure it all out?
So whether or not Carly can figure it out, I'm not quite sure. But the fact that she's at least somewhat on the trail gives me hope. I'm not a huge fan of Doc Ock being in Peter's body, and I want to see Peter come back as soon as possible. So hopefully she does.
You don't think these stories have been interesting? I find these stories have been very interesting, and just watching how Doc Ock would handle just Peter's life. And I don't want it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want Peter back, but it shouldn't be soon.
All right. I can see where you're coming from. I'll admit, I have liked the last few issues, especially this
interesting.
One.
Yeah,
just watching Peter kind of comment on Doc Ock's day as he goes around.
I think the addition of the Peter ghost, I think, is just like a constant commentary of what Peter would think of what Doc Ock's actions are, and I think that's almost just it's like a bone thrown at all the other fans that are just like, oh, where's Peter Parker? Where's Peter Parker? And this is a way for Peter to still be involved in some way without really having that much of a tangible effect on the actual story.
Yeah.
But the actual, just Doc Ock, I find him to be just hilarious. Just the words he uses.
I really liked him going on the dates with Mary Jane, and he called them like trial runs.
Yes. It's also very just scientific about how he approaches everything.
Yeah.
I almost find that, the whole idea that he had to have the spider bots just watching his route for him and everything, and having an app to just view everything. I thought that was just ingenious. He's just working as a scientist, making everything more efficient, and I can completely get behind that.
I also kind of liked how Peter Parker's bad luck carries over to the Superior Spider-Man. All the times he gets really close with Mary Jane, something pulls him away. Yeah. In the coffee shop, there's a fire truck rushes by. Or when he finally successfully has a date with Mary Jane, he takes her back to her place, but then Carly's there.
And I loved how Peter was just like, yeah, this is my life. Get used to it. And the whole scene where he finally realizes, hey, I have these memories. I could just use this to,
yeah. And Peter's
enjoy
just
myself.
Going insane. It's like, you don't deserve those.
Sounds like a sore loser to me.
Yeah.
So one important thing that happened in this issue was that Doc Ock pretty much just ended the MJ thing and said, I'm just going to move on because this is essentially a trap, for him, his own safety and for her safety. And so he just made this decision on the spot, and that's something Peter was never able to do.
But as the reader, I'm kind of glad because I really don't want Doc Ock to hook up with MJ. Do you think this means he's going to start hooking up with new chicks or?
Well, I think it'd be great to just see Doc Ock, this really old guy in a young body, trying to date chicks in a modern world. And it'd be great to see him probably going to strike out a bunch, I imagine.
Yeah. I could see him, maybe hitting on some other scientists at Horizon, sexual harassment lawsuits, that sort of thing.
I just want to see him burn all these bridges that Peter Parker had with these old flames.
Yeah. Maybe he's got to go hit on Jean Grey now. That's that's the next step.
Just go for underage.
So is it great for Superior Spider-Man number 2? What would you give it?
I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I'm really liking Doc Ock Spidey, and Peter's obviously gonna come back, but I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts.
I would also give it a 4 out of 5. I really liked the whole dynamic now between Ghost Peter Parker and Doc Ock. So thanks for watching P3 Comics review of Superior Spider-Man number 2. Before we go, though, we got a question for you guys.
Do you think Carly will actually figure it all out?
Leave your answer below in the comments. Also, be sure to check us out on Twitter.
Thumbs up if you like this video, and thanks for watching.